Let me ask you something. What if the most dangerous threat to your job isn't a robot? Isn't ChatGPT? Isn't some tech billionaire's fever dream? What if it's a system that's been running quietly for decades and you were never supposed to notice it? Because here's the thing nobody's saying out loud. Millions of jobs aren't disappearing because of automation. They're disappearing because of economics. Deliberate, structural, and almost invisible. And by the end of this video, you'll see your job, your salary, your entire career completely differently. Turn on any news channel right now, and you'll hear the same story. AI is taking over. Automation is the enemy. Blame the machines. But here's where it gets dangerous. That framing? It's a distraction. Because long before ChatGPT existed, long before robots could weld car frames, companies were already eliminating jobs. Systematically, quietly, profitably. Here's a number that should bother you. In 1979, the average American manufacturing worker's wage, adjusted for inflation, was higher than it is today. Let that sit for a second. Nearly 50 years of productivity gains. 50 years of technological progress, and the average worker is no better off. So where did all that value go? That's the question. And this is the part nobody tells you. The answer has nothing to do with the technology. It has everything to do with incentives. Here's what actually happens inside a company when profits are the only metric. A CEO doesn't ask, "How do I protect my workers?" They ask, "What's the cheapest way to get this output?" And that question, that single, cold, rational question, is the engine behind everything you're about to see. Let's break down the actual mechanism. Step 1. Labor arbitrage. This is where it starts. Not with AI. Not with robots. With geography. In the 1990s, companies discovered something beautiful. If you move your factory from Ohio to Vietnam, you can pay a worker $1.50 an hour instead of $18. And they did. Fast. Between 2000 and 2010, the US alone lost 5.8 million manufacturing jobs. Not because of AI, because of math. Now, here's the math moment. Say you run a factory. You have 500 workers. Each earns $45,000 a year. Total labor cost, $22.5 million annually. Now, you move that operation overseas. Same 500 workers. Average wage, $6,000 a year. Total labor cost, $3 million. That's not evil. That's just arithmetic. And when Wall Street rewards that decision with a higher stock price, you do it again. And again, until there's nothing left to cut. But here's where it gets dangerous. Because once you've exhausted cheap geography, you need a new lever. And that's when technology becomes the weapon. Step 2. Automation as a cost strategy, not an innovation strategy. Here's the distinction nobody makes. When we talk about automation, we frame it as progress, as advancement. But inside a corporate spreadsheet, it's just a cheaper worker. A robotic arm that can work 24 hours a day, never calls in sick, never asks for a raise, and costs less than 1 year of a human salary to maintain. That's not innovation. That's a layoff with better PR. Now, this is where things break down. Because you might be thinking, okay, but what about me? I'm not in manufacturing. I'm not in logistics, right? So let's talk about the second wave. Step 3. Knowledge work, commoditization. This one's newer, and it's moving faster. For decades, white-collar work felt safe. You needed a degree. You needed expertise. You needed judgment. But here's what happened. The internet flattened access to expertise globally. And suddenly, a contract lawyer in Manila can do the same document review as a paralegal in Manhattan for 1/5 the cost. This process has a name. It's called offshoring knowledge work. And it's been happening since the early 2000s. Customer service, accounting, coding, radiology readings. AI didn't start this. AI is just accelerating what was already in motion. And this is the part nobody tells you. AI isn't replacing your job because it's smarter than you. It's replacing your job because it makes the economics of replacing you finally make sense. In 2020, using AI to replace a data analyst was expensive, unreliable, needed oversight. In 2024, the cost dropped by over 90%. And the accuracy crossed a threshold. Automatic. Not personal, not political, automatic. Which brings us to step 4. And this is the one that changes everything. The decoupling of productivity and pay. Here's what you were promised. Work harder. Be more productive. Get paid more. Here's what actually happened. Since 1979, U.S. worker productivity has increased by over 60%. Worker compensation, up by about 17%. That gap, that 40+% gap, is not an accident. It's a transfer. The value you create goes somewhere. It's going to shareholders. It's going to executives. It's being captured by capital. And here's the mechanism that makes it permanent. When a company automates, the savings don't go to workers. They go to margins. When a company outsources, the savings don't flow back as lower prices. They flow to dividends. This is the system, not the tech, not the robots, the system. So what does this mean for you? Let's zoom out. When jobs disappear at the bottom and wages stagnate in the middle, something structural starts to break. Consumer spending drops. Local businesses close. Tax revenue falls. Entire regions hollow out. And here's the cruel irony. The workers displaced by automation become less able to buy the products made by automation. Henry Ford understood this in 1914. He doubled his workers' wages. Not out of generosity, out of strategy. He wanted them to be able to buy his cars. We have forgotten that lesson entirely. Because today, instead of raising wages, we give people credit. You can't afford it. Here's a loan. You can't afford that loan? Here's a lower interest rate. Your real income is falling? Here's a 0% APR card. And now, U.S. household debt is at $17.5 trillion. That's not a safety net. That's a delayed collapse. But here's where it gets dangerous at the national level. When the middle class shrinks, tax revenue shrinks, infrastructure decays, education funding drops, and the next generation enters a labor market with fewer skills competing against cheaper global labor and more capable machines. The cycle tightens. And the political response? Usually blame immigrants, blame trade deals, blame the other party. Never the system. So where does that leave you? Here's the honest answer. The forces we talked about today, labor arbitrage, automation economics, the productivity pay gap, they aren't stopping. But they're not equally distributed. Some jobs will be replaced. Some will be transformed. And some, in very specific ways, become more valuable. The question isn't, will AI take my job? The real question is, do I understand the economics of my own labor? Because the people who do make very different decisions about what to learn, where to work, how to position themselves. And that's exactly what we're going to get into next. There's a specific economic shift happening right now, one that's quietly creating value in places most people aren't looking. And if you're not watching for it, you'll miss it entirely. Subscribe to Economic Lab, because the people who understand these systems don't get replaced. They get ahead.